Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I'm Dave Furtado.
And I'm meteorologist Jefferson Donovan.
And welcome to Keep Her Quick, your latest local news and weather commercial free in 13 minutes or less. We're going to jump right over to weather because the hottest day of the work week is today. We are cooling off, though, correct?
Yeah, it is going to be very hot today before we start a general cooling trend. Now, today, it is July 1st. We are off to a sizzling start to July, with many of us seeing temperatures in the triple digits today. Now, what I will note is that Wednesday will feature increasing fire danger, not only because of hot temperatures, but because we are going to be looking at breezy winds across the entire forecast area on hump day, and then temperatures are going to be cooling off Thursday through the remainder of the work week. And just to hammer home one more time how hot it will be today, we do have heat advisories in place across virtually the entire viewing area, again, because some of us could be looking at highs all the way up to around 103 degrees. We will talk about your full forecast more coming up.
Thanks, Jefferson. We begin this morning in Benton County. Sheriff's deputies are investigating the death of a man who fell into the Yakima River. It happened just after 9 Sunday night. Deputies say the 55-year-old man had been floating with a group and was not wearing a life jacket when he went into the water near the Van Giesen Street Bridge in West Richland. His friends tried to rescue him, but were unsuccessful. Deputies, drones, and dive rescue searched the area and found the man deceased about 90 minutes later. Detectives are now investigating. And in Yakima, a woman is facing assault and drive-by shooting charges for an incident during a graduation party on Saturday. Police responded at around 9:15 p.m. to Mountain View Avenue in Yakima. When they arrived, they found a woman being restrained by a man. Police were told the woman and her boyfriend's brother started arguing. She went to her car and fired at least 2 shots from inside the vehicle. Police say no one was injured, but they did find 2 bullet holes in that car. They also say the woman fought with her mother, boyfriend, and his brother, inflicting physical damage. Yakima County Sheriff's deputies are trying to track down a man from a domestic violence incident in the Outlook area that escalated into shots being fired and SWAT teams getting involved. The incident happened on Saturday on Van Bell Road. Deputies say the suspect was near the home with a firearm and shots were fired. The suspect then went into the home. Officers from multiple agencies responded, including the Yakima Regional SWAT team. After quite some time, the SWAT team went into the home, but the suspect had fled. We'll provide any updates as we get them. Yakima police also responded to a rollover yesterday morning, finding an overturned Dodge on Western Washington Avenue. Inside, an unresponsive driver who was transported to the hospital for non-life-threatening injuries. After an investigation, authorities determined the truck was driving eastbound, veered across oncoming traffic, left the road and entered a parking lot, crashing into 2 parked cars. The truck rolled and ended up on its side. The incident, though, is still under investigation, but officers believe the 59-year-old driver had a medical episode while behind the wheel. And a motion to dismiss the case against the man convicted of killing Trooper Christopher Gadd failed yesterday. Lawyers for Raul Benitez Santana argued prosecutors violated the Keep Washington Working Act by illegally contacting ICE and said emails exposed his immigration status and tainted his chance for a fair trial. Santana was in the U.S. illegally at the time he killed Trooper Gadd. While the judge did share concerns that the state should have moved faster once they noticed the violation, the judge says it wasn't enough to have the case thrown out, so the motion was denied. Benitez Santana is expected in court for his sentencing hearing tomorrow. Now, this extreme heat means potentially life-threatening situations can happen in just minutes. Take this video from earlier this month, for example. Police in Southern California were alerted to a baby left alone inside a car with the engine off and windows up. Officers immediately smashed the window and rescued the 3-month-old who escaped serious injury. Doing something like this in a similar situation will soon remove the risk of any penalties in Washington with the new state law. Anyone who rescues a vulnerable person or animal from a car will be protected from liability for any damages they cause. As long as you determine there was no other way to get in, believe the person inside is in imminent danger, and call 911 or alert law enforcement, you can make the rescue. The law goes into effect July 27th. And as temps are set to be on the warmer side this week, it's important to keep an eye on your dogs for signs of heat stroke. Some of the signs to look for include heavy panting, excessive thirst, drooling, vomiting, and diarrhea. The advisory goes on to state that internal temperatures of a dog exceeding 104 degrees can lead to heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Heat stroke in dogs can lead to seizures, organ failure, and even death. If you think your dog is suffering from heat exhaustion or heat stroke, take them inside and start cooling them off as quickly as possible and take them to a veterinarian. And with that, let's jump right over to meteorologist Jefferson Donovan to talk the weather. Jefferson, obviously, we want to keep in mind not only for our dogs, but for ourselves, this heat stroke situation or heat exhaustion situation. What is it? We have heat advisories kind of in effect, right?
Yeah, heat advisories region-wide today. We certainly have to have hot temperature safety on top of mind. As we go through this July 1st, it is going to be a very warm day. Now, of course, it is July. Triple digits in July are something that we just expect, but that doesn't change the fact that it is going to be very warm. High temperatures in the Tri-Cities today will near 105 degrees. Look for highs into the low 100s for the Yakima Valley today. Upper 90s near 100 degrees in the Kittitas Valley with upper 90s to low 100s as well for the Blue Mountain foothills. Now let's take a look at the Storm Tracker Futurecast. Today is not going to be a widespread thunderstorm day by any stretch of the imagination, but numerous showers and thunderstorms are going to be forming well to our south through central and southern Oregon. Just because of how the atmosphere is going to be oriented today, we are going to be looking at these showers and thunderstorms trying to move north. Now, our general viewing area is not in a favorable environment for supporting showers and thunderstorms, so by the time they get here, they will be dying off. But that is not to say that a rumble of thunder or two in our viewing area today will be out of the question. We are going to see this possibility from this afternoon through this evening, and then even tomorrow, we are going to be looking at a similar story. So again, mostly sunny skies for a vast majority of us, no active weather for a vast majority of us, but if you do have a cloud overhead that does produce a rumble of thunder, that is not totally out of the question. The more important news will revolve around the wind scenario through the next couple of days. For today, we are going to see primarily light winds around eastern Washington and northeast Oregon, although we could see gusts as high as 35 miles per hour in the Kittitas Valley. Tomorrow, breezy winds are going to be experienced region-wide, with a vast majority of us experiencing gusts between 20 and 30 miles per hour, although we could see gusts up to 45 miles per hour tomorrow in the Kittitas Valley. With the expected region-wide breezy winds on Wednesday, a fire weather watch has been issued for all areas in these tan colors. This fire weather watch goes from 2 p.m. in the afternoon until 9 p.m. on Wednesday evening because, again, that possibility of breezy wind and low relative humidity. Practice fire safety all week long, but especially tomorrow with those breezy winds. Now, taking a look at the next 2 days after today, so Wednesday and Thursday. Wednesday will still be very warm with highs for most of us in the low to mid 90s. By Thursday, though, temperatures do take a step back with upper 80s to low 90s, and in fact, low to mid 80s in the Kittitas Valley, and we will see similar temperatures to Thursday on Independence Day Friday. Right now, I'm going to toss it back to Dave.
Thanks, Jefferson. And as you alluded to, Independence Day is this week. And while folks will be lighting off fireworks, it's important to remember that conditions are still extremely dry. So even if you're allowed to set them off, being extra careful is crucial. Different fireworks are available in different areas. So if you want to cut through the confusion, only set fireworks off in the town you bought them in. Unincorporated Franklin County and the city of Prosser have banned all fireworks, and their allowance is weather permitting in Benton County. Any violations of rules, be it lighting off in general or using prohibited fireworks, come with a $250 fine. For those looking and not lighting this year, the River of Fire Festival at Columbia Park in Kennewick goes from 2 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. on the 4th. Fireworks begin at dusk. In Pasco, the Grand Old 4th of July begins at 10 p.m. at Geisa Stadium. Doors open at 8. In Walla Walla, fireworks sales start today and end on the 4th. However, the county and city have different rules. College Place and the county allow most fireworks, including aerials, though the city is a bit stricter. Anything that goes higher than 20 feet along the ground for more than 15 or ones that make noise are prohibited. The city is hosting a free display at Walla Walla Community College. It'll begin at 10 p.m. and last about 20 minutes. And if you do light some off, disposal is just as important as safety on the front end. We are in high fire danger, so a spark is all it takes. The state fire marshal says a nearby water source is key. We're talking the hose or even a bucket. However, do not submerge them unless misfired, damaged, or on fire. The marshal says unintended chemical reactions could happen. You'll also want to let them cool for at least 15 to 20 minutes before handling and toss them in a metal garbage can. Health leaders, though, are saying the 4th of July can be a vulnerable time for people who suffer from Alzheimer's due to the loud sounds. The Alzheimer Foundation of America is offering a few tips for caregivers this 4th of July, such as providing glow sticks. Instead of watching fireworks outside, TV may be a better option at a lower volume. And to be reassuring, they say you can still celebrate the holiday, but with caution and care.
Having dementia shouldn't mean that you can't take part in the 4th of July. It just requires some adaptations, and that's what we want caregivers to know. Whether if you're not able to go out and watch fireworks in the park, but you can watch them on TV, you're still participating in the holiday, and you can still look through old photo albums and reminisce. You can still make patriotic decorations and bake 4th of July themed desserts.
Now, if you want to learn more, you can visit our website, KEPRTV.com. And finally, the Prescott School District in Walla Walla will be making cuts in the upcoming year to help reduce the budget deficit. According to the Union Bulletin last week, the school board approved $325,000 in cuts, closing in on the $400,000 in cuts board members say is necessary. Cuts include paraprofessionals, one custodian, and the 2026 spring sports season. In recent years, the district has ended in the hole, and the Washington Office of Superintendent of Public Instruction began financial oversight. Last week, the board voted to restructure its debt and plan to adopt the budget by the end of July. And thank you for watching this episode of Keeper Quick. For more local news and weather, you can head over to our websites, KEPRKIMATV.com, as well as our Facebook pages. But while you're here, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to keep up with our latest mini newscasts Monday through Friday. Have a wonderful Tuesday.